Jeopardy's newest multi-day champion has a familiar face, and fans are buzzing about who he resembles. Many viewers have spotted that the promising contestant Shawn McShane, who arrived on Monday, looks like a young Ken Jennings. Shawn, 25, has won 2 games so far, both in runaways, meaning by Final Jeopardy he couldn't be caught putting up big numbers. That's a promising sign for Jeopardy! Fans who have been waiting with bated breath for a new streak holder worth watching. Twitter fans called out the elephant in the room given the fresh-faced newcomer's parted brunette hair and overall look. One viewer wrote, "Reminds me of young Ken Jennings. Maybe he is Ken's son." "I was thinking this," another fan replied. A third wrote, "I've seen people mention Freddie Highmore and Ken Jennings. Maybe Ken's kid wasn't eligible with Ken hosting and adopted an alter ego?" Ken, 48, who has 2 children, was originally a contestant on the game show that made him famous at age 30, winning 74 games and $2.5 million, still the longest streak in the history of the show. Last month, fans said Professor and Tournament of Champions finalist Sam Buttrey was a dead ringer for Steve Martin. New challenger approaching. Shawn, a non-profit membership associate originally from West Islip, New York who attended Boston College, has $53,000 and, perhaps, counting. Fan favorite Chris Ponula shockingly lost after 21 wins and $748,000 last Tuesday. Since then, no player had won 2 games, so Shawn couldn't have come sooner for those who like winning streaks. One fan spotted that after Chris came the longest carousel of one-day winners since 2018. They wrote on Reddit, "So, longest no-repeat champion run after a super champ since Seth Wilson in 2018, and if Shawn doesn't win tomorrow, it will be the longest other than after Arthur Chu was defeated in 2014. Luckily, Shawn did win more than 1 game and now fans are pumped up after days upon days of one-hit wonders. One wrote to Facebook, "I'm calling it now. Shawn McShane will be the next champ in the future Tournament of Champions. I'm quite impressed with how close he got to $30,000 before Final Jeopardy. He'll be around for a while." Another skeptic said, "We shall see. One-day champs are boring, want a champ that goes 5 days or more. Much more exciting." And a third, "First day back watching after Chris lost and I really like Shawn. Hope he wins 5 games, for starters." Shawn is cousins with Dan McShane, who won $62,001 in 4 games in January 2012, they don't talk about Jeopardy! Page 6 scooped. Shawn certainly came out swinging in his first game when he slammed his hometown of Long Island, New York, as not worth visiting. He went on to break the curse of one-day winners by winning his second game last night, putting up solid $25,000 numbers in both wins. Ken and mayim Bialik, 47, were announced as the permanent replacements for the late, great Alex Trebek, who left huge shoes to fill after he passed away in 2020 at age 80. Mayim is switching in for Ken in January and is set to host their first ever high school reunion tournament airing in February. In the world of Jeopardy, surprises come in many forms: mind-blowing trivia knowledge, unexpected upsets, and the occasional viral moment that captivates fans beyond the buzzer. But this week, viewers found themselves caught in a delightful deja vu, not from a contestant's answer, but from his face. Enter Shawn McShane, the newest champion on Jeopardy! Who has sparked a wave of online conversation, not only for his impressive gameplay but also for his uncanny resemblance to the show's current host, Ken Jennings. From the moment Shawn stepped behind the podium, social media lit up with reactions. "Wait. Is that Ken Jennings in disguise?" One fan posted on X, formerly Twitter, followed by a photo of the two side by side. The resemblance was undeniable. Both men share a tall frame, sharp jawline, and the same trademark sandy blonde hairstyle. But it's more than just their appearance, it's their mannerisms, confident but friendly demeanor, and quick wit that has fans doing a double take. "Shawn McShane is like Ken Jennings 2.0, another fan wrote. "He's got that quiet genius vibe going. And that smile? Total Ken. A promising new contender." But Shawn isn't just making headlines for his looks. In his debut game, he dominated with a cool composure that reminded longtime viewers of Ken's original 74-game winning streak back in 2004. Racking up over $32,000 in his first outing, Shawn breezed through categories like classical music, world capitals, and before and after with such confidence, fans quickly dubbed him the quiz machine. Even Ken Jennings himself appeared amused by the comparison. As the show wrapped up and Shawn was crowned the new champion, Ken chuckled and said, "You know, you remind me of someone I used to know pretty well. I'll let the audience guess who." The sly grin on Ken's face was enough to send fans into a frenzy. Internet speculates, long-lost brother? Naturally, the internet did what it does best, spiraled into a storm of theories and memes. Reddit threads speculated whether Shawn could somehow be a distant cousin of the legendary champion-turned-host. Others joked that Shawn might be part of some elaborate host cloning experiment by the producers to create the ultimate Jeopardy! Contestant. One viral meme showed Shawn and Ken side by side with the caption, "Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man," a reference to the famous meme where two identical versions of the characters stare at each other in confusion. Another ex-user quipped, "This season of Jeopardy! Is getting Black Mirror real?" Ken Jennings is playing himself and also hosting at the same time. Some even drew connections to the game show's long tradition of symmetry and serendipity. Jeopardy! Always finds a way to come full circle, a longtime viewer posted. Ken once was a contestant turned champ who then became host. Now Shawn could be walking that same path. Humble and gracious. Despite the buzz surrounding his sudden fame, Shawn McShane has remained modest. In a short backstage interview released on Jeopardy's YouTube channel, he was asked directly how he felt about being compared to Ken. "I mean, it's an honor, really," Shawn said with a humble laugh. "Ken's a legend. If people think I look like him or play the game like him, that's the best compliment I could get." He also admitted that he grew up watching Jeopardy! Religiously and even studied Ken's games for inspiration during his preparation. "I used to think, if I could just play one game like Ken did, I'd be happy. And now I'm here. It's surreal." The start of a new streak? Shawn's resemblance to Ken is more than skin deep. He has the strategic mindset that made Ken famous during his historic streak. On his second appearance, Shawn utilized the forced bounce technique, jumping between categories to throw off his competitors and hunt for daily doubles. It worked like a charm. He ended up winning his second game with an even bigger margin and a total haul of over $64,000 across 2 games. Fans are already wondering, could this be the beginning of another historic run? "This guy's got the Jennings DNA," one Reddit user posted. "He's playing the long game, and I'm here for it." Behind-the-scenes buzz. Even behind the scenes, producers are reportedly thrilled with Shawn's rising popularity. According to an anonymous crew member, the chatter in the green room has been all Shawn, all day. People are joking that if Ken ever needs a day off, Shawn could just step in and no one would notice, the source said. "It's eerie, really. The way they walk, the way they gesture when they get a daily double, it's like watching a rewind of early 2000s Jeopardy!" Rumors are also swirling that Shawn may be invited to participate in a future Tournament of Champions or even a special Ken vs. Shawn exhibition match, should his streak continue. A fan favorite in the making. For now, Shawn is just focused on playing one game at a time. But fans are already invested. Social media hashtags like #ShawnMcShaneChallenge and #KenClone are trending, and fan-made tribute videos have begun popping up online, comparing their best moments side by side. One touching post summed it up perfectly: Ken Jennings inspired a generation of trivia nerds. Now Shawn McShane is inspiring the next. That's the real magic of Jeopardy! Whether he ends up going the distance or not, Shawn McShane has already cemented himself as one of the most talked about contestants in recent memory, not just because he looks like a legend, but because he plays like one too. And if we've learned anything from Jeopardy! History, it's that sometimes the stars align in the most unexpected, and eerily familiar, ways.